Hello, welcome to today's video, Acorn and Oak. Today we are going to be doing some mixed media projects. I'm going to be doing a steampunk paintbrush. Now I'm going to alter this paintbrush. This is a 3-inch wooden handle paintbrush from Poundland, and we are going to alter it. So I'm just going to be using stuff from my stash. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it all with white gesso. And I'm just going to play some music over the top and sit back and enjoy. Okay crafters, I'm going to take the gesso out because I'm now going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to attach some embellishments. Now I'm going to be using things like metal embellishments, wooden embellishments, anything in my stash, and we're going to build it up. Okay, I'm going to use our glitter glue and put some of these small beads in. Now the colour of the beads isn't going to make any difference because the it's all going to be painted white anyway. This is a case of whatever sticks, sticks. If it doesn't stick, I'm not bothered. That's why I've got the tray underneath. if you're new to the channel, you may not know that I've always been a fan of mixed media, and before before I started YouTube, my YouTube channel, and a little while at the beginning I used to do a lot of mixed media projects, but I kind of stopped for some reason, but I don't know why. So I'm just trying to get back to the things that I enjoy, and that does include home decor, that does include wreaths, that does include you know, cards. I'm just going to do more and more what I enjoy and throughout the year, and then bring them to you in the burr months. So I need to let that dry, so that's going to take a good while for that to dry. I'm going to let that dry, and then I will give it another coat of the white gesso, and then we will move on. Okay crafters, so that's all nice and dry. The only other thing I did was I added a wooden word that says dream. So now we're going to start spraying it. And I'm going to use some of my Tim Holtz distress sprays. I've got, these are some Stardust ones, so that means they've got silver, got like a silver element to them. This one is Tibetan Poppy, this is a silver one. This is Brushed Pewter. This one is Shabby something teal. Don't know what that says. And this one is, what's this one? Poinsettia Red Gold. And this one, which I don't have much left, is Azure Sea. So we're going to spray this now. Let's put those over there. If I can get it to spray. That one's not really having any effect. Let's try this one. It's been so long since I've used these, I think they're all clogged up. I think it might be time for me to get some new distress sprays, crafters. Oh dear. I'm going to use some of my Nouveau embellishment mousse, and this colour is This is cornflower blue. It's a lovely blue. Now I'm going to use my finger. I'm going to highlight certain areas. Clean my finger, and then I think we're going to add a bit of the embellishment mousse in bronze. That, crafters, I am going to call done. So, welcome to Acorn and Oak and today's video. Today we're going to alter another paintbrush. I got a set of 3 paintbrushes from Poundland. Here's a picture. So this is the middle version and this is 2 inches. So I'm going to give it a coat of gesso and then I will heat blast it to dry it. Okay, crafters, so that's that. I'll probably give it another bit of coats when I add things. Now this, I've got some MDF hexagons and I think I want this to kind of be bee themed, bees and butterflies, but I'm not sure. I want to put some stenciling on there, so I need to choose a stencil. I think I'm going to use these dots, and I've got some Pebeo Studio acrylics and this is the modelling paste, so I'm going to use some of that. And I've got myself a spatula. Give it a stir. If you're less impatient than me, let it dry naturally, but I just used my heat tool because I just don't have the patience to wait. Okay, I have this really small hexagon stamp, and I think I'm going to stamp some of that on the back as well. And I've got my VersaFine. You probably should use StazOn, but I'm not too bothered if this because it's just in the background. Not forgetting to do the edges. give the back a bit of interest. If I wanted to add some of this cheesecloth, I think I might add it on there. So I'm just going to use my modelling paste to attach this. Again, it's just to give it texture. I'm happy with the composition. I've got some brushed pewter distress spray, and I'm going to dab it in sections, and I'm going to spray it with my spray gun or my spray bottle that's got water in it, and I'm hoping that dilute, yeah, that's what I wanted, that dilutes the that dilutes it. Do the same with this Lindy stamp gang, and this is the Azure Sea. Time to water down some yellow paint. That's acrylic paint that I got from Poundland, so nothing expensive. Some water. Let's grab a paintbrush. And again, I'm going to spray it with the water to move it. Get some nice greens as well, because obviously I used blue previously. Okay, crafters, so now I'm going to use some Nouveau embellishment mousse, and this is the Cosmic Brown. It's a nice gold sheen to it, and I'm going to use that on the crown. I think I'm going to call that one done, crafters. Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to do another altered paintbrush, but I'm going to do this paintbrush on a MDF laser cut tag. I've got the paintbrush from Poundland. Here's an image of how they are sold. This is the smaller one, and this is 1¼ inches. I'm going to stencil the background of this tag, and I'm going to use this 6x6 stencil from the craftersworkshop.com, designs by Jamie. Mini Arties, I think is what it says on the label there. I've had this for a long time, so I don't know if it's still sold, or even if it's, you know, if it's no longer available. So I'm going to use my modeling paste, and this is the Studio Acrylics from Paintbrush. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so if you know how it's correctly pronounced, let me know in the comments below. Okay, I'm just going to go around the outside with the paste, and I'm just going to dab it just to give this texture. Right, this is going to take a little while to dry, so I'm going to let that dry and then we'll move on. Okay, it's mostly dry, not 100%, but mostly. So I'm going to cover this in black gesso, and this is the Paintbrush brand as well, Studio Acrylic, and it's my favourite black gesso. I absolutely love this gesso. So as this isn't 100% dry, I'm bound to get a mixing of the gel medium and the black, but I'm not bothered. Okay, so that's mostly dry, and as you can see there's some nice texture on the background. So if you want to let yours dry naturally, then please do, but for video purposes it means sometimes if I wait for things to dry it can take hours, and I've got things I need to get done today. So first thing I'm going to do now is start attaching some embellishments. Now I'm just using things from my stash. Obviously I've been crafting for so long now, I've got lots of things in my stash, but I did make these leaf with some air dry clay and a stencil that I got from Amazon. I will link the stencil if it's available below. Okay, and I know a lot of people who do mixed media tends to use gel mediums to glue things down. Again, that takes a long time to dry, and I prefer instant adhesion, so I tend to use hot glue. If you want to use the gel mediums, then please feel free to do so. That's just my personal preference. Large metal rings, and I'm going to glue those on. And I'm going to paint all this with the black gesso. Now what I should have done, actually I should have painted it as I was adding them, so painted the the first item and then painted the heart, but sometimes I forget. So if you're going to do some mixed media projects, I suggest you either paint it all a bit to start off with before you even start gluing things down, or paint them before you glue them down. Okay, time to add some metal cogs. Now these are ones that I have in my stash from when I had my store way back when. But you can get MDF cogs, you can get cog dies that you can cut yourself. You can get metal cogs from lots of different brands. Just do what you can afford. If you can't afford to get the metal cogs, then you can get a die and you can create them yourself using thick cardstock. People think a lot of people think mixed media is expensive. It can be, because there's a lot out there that people assume you need to use. But do what you can within your budget. If you know, I'm very much a crafter that crafts within my budget. If I can't afford something, I'll either save up for it, or I'll try and find a cheaper alternative. Like I say, I tend to use hot glue rather than forking out for the mediums, the mediums that are used to adhere things, and that's my preference. And if I find it at a decent price, I will buy some. To glue that there, but before I do that, I'm going to paint the cogs. So I'm going to paint this first, I think. Some hot glue down here. And stick our paintbrush down. Now down the centre there where the glue is seeping through, I'm going to get hold of some little beads. And I've got these tiny little beads, and I don't care what colour they are, because I'm going to be painting them. Yep, you guessed it, black. So as you can see, I'm just tilting it, and in fact anywhere that is wet they will grab onto. In fact I might put some here, there and everywhere, just to give it some texture. Dry for a while because I want those to adhere properly, and I'll be back. Okay, crafters, so I have some blue and I have some green acrylic paint from Poundland from the works, and I'm going to spray water in it, and I'm going to grab myself a paintbrush and I'm going to paint and splodge wherever I want it to be. And I am going to spray the actual blue on here to water it down. Because not everybody has the sprays, and I wanted to show that there are other ways to create mixed media. So I'm going to spray that with my heat tool, or should I say heat that with my heat tool. I'm going to go back in with it where it's less water, to give it a bit more oomph, to make it darker and lighter in places. Just to warn you, crafters, the one downside to using hot glue is obviously if you're heat setting things, it does remelt the glue, so that's just something to be wary of. I'm going to use my Lindy stamp gun, and this is the Tibetan Poppy. It's like a tealy colour, and I love it. So that will hopefully blend the blue and the green together, and I'm going to spray it with water as well. And I'm just going to move it around. Okay, using some Nouveau embossing mousse. This one is cornflower blue, I believe. Yep, this is cornflower blue. I'm going to go over some of the areas and highlight some of the embellishments and things with this lighter blue. I'm going to do the same with my gold brown, I think it's called. Is this gold brown? Cosmic brown. And I'm going to use that on this, my last MDF embellishment, and this is a pair of ornate scissors. And I wanted these to be gold, and I'm going to stick them just on there, and this will be just gold. I won't be putting any other colour on it, so they really stick out. I wish Phony Designs was still open. Their prices were amazing. Okay, so that's that done. We're going to add some of the the gold in places as well. Okay, let's add those scissors, and then I think I'm going to call this altered paintbrush done. There we go. And that, crafters, I am calling done, and I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Hello crafters, welcome to Acorn and Oak and the last altered paintbrush video of 2021. As you can see, when I was drying the brush, I made some of the bristles curl. As you've seen, I have painted the wooden MDF embellishments that I'm going to be using. Now they're a mixture of ones I got from eBay, ones from my stash, and ones that I got from Fernie that were in my stash. So I'm just going to finish painting this paintbrush. Now I've said in the previous altered paintbrush videos that I tend to use hot glue because I prefer the speed, but for a change I think I'm going to just use the Arlene's tacky glue, and I'm just going to have to be patient, because the one downside of the hot glue is that when you squish things it pokes through any holes that things have, and that can be quite frustrating. Okie dokie. So I may even use some foliage on this particular paintbrush and keep the foliage the colour it is. I haven't decided. I'm just going to create and see what happens at the end. So I have this light post that I want to put on here and this Christmas tree, but I think I may cut off the star. I don't really want the star to be there, so I'm just going to use my smaller Tim Holtz shears and cut the star off. I think I want it sort of like that. And what I'm going to do, anything that I need to rise, I've got these pieces. I've got these odds and sods pieces, like these little inch squares and these rectangles that I can fill in the spaces behind. So let's put this, I should have painted the back as well, but I can always do that at a later date. Now one thing I am going to do is I'm going to use a brush that I'm not bothered about. And I'm going to get rid of any excess glue that I see. Okay, so I want this tree about there, so I need to put some glue on the back of this tile. Now the thing with the Arlene's, things will shift and move. I will need hot glue for like the pine cone and that type of thing, but I'm not too worried about that. Oops, I've got this all stuck to the paper. Great. Just get this off with a nail file. He got stuck to the tissue paper. Okay. Okay, I have this bag of purple. I typed in art seeds and I found this, and these are a lot cheaper than the branded art stones. So I'm going to use some of those, and I'm going to use the art glitter glue, and I'm going to just pour some art glitter glue in certain areas. And this, it doesn't matter that they are purple, because once I paint this all with gesso again, they'll be the right colour. They'll be whatever colour I decide to put on over the top of the gesso. So I'm going to now sprinkle some of these on. I really wish I had a better way to do this, because I don't want to lose, you know, thousands of them. So I'm hoping that I don't lose that many. So maybe what I should do is I should maybe pinch some, sprinkle them on. Okay, crafters, using the Lindy Stamp Gang Poinsettia Red, I am going to put some of this in sections. Just using I'm not spraying it, I'm just using the nozzle. And I'm going to use my water bottle spray bottle. We're going to disperse that colour. Okay, do it again, just so I get deeper shades in different areas. I'm going to use my paintbrush as well. Okay, crafters, I've got some of these Stampendous pearlized fragments, and I'm going to glue some of these on. I'm going to use the Arlene's glue. I'm just going to undo it. I'm just going to paint the areas in which I want these flakes to sit. And then using my distress spray in the pewter, I'm going to use that on the snowflakes. Just going to dip my brush, and we're going to paint some of the snowflakes Put some silver on them. And in places. I do have my hot glue gun on, because I will be gluing on some berries and some leaves to go with the pine cone, I believe, and obviously I need to glue on my Merry Christmas sentiment. Just going to tap the back off, get in loose bits. Okay, now with my embellishment mousse, and that is the Cosmic Brown. I'm going to use a paintbrush. Using my Spectrum Noir, and that is the, what is this one called? This is the holly leaf, and I'm going to go over the holly leaves with some of this, just to bring in some green. I want more green in here. In fact, I may even paint with this. I think it needs more green. I might squirt some on and then use my water again. As much as I like the red, I think the red's not really doing it for me. Let's dry that with the heat tool. Okay, one area I need to focus on is around the side here, so I think I'm going to put some green here and spray it to get the coverage. Okay, quite like that, so we'll put that in. Put some red pip berries in. And there we have it, crafters, a festive Christmas mixed media altered paintbrush. Thank you very much for joining me today, and you'll see me again soon. Bye now.